handling rejection. You ask someone out, apply for a job, or pitch an idea, and boom, rejection hits like a freight train. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Rejection isn't personal failure, it's a statistical reality. Think of it like a video game where you need to collect no's to unlock the yes. Every rejection is literally bringing you closer to your goal. Hone your skills and go at it every day. This way you are much more likely to get what you are searching for. Your brain often wants to interpret rejection as I'm not good enough, but most of the time it has nothing to do with you. It is just a numbers game. Stop taking universal experiences personally. Stress response hack. Your heart races, palms sweat, and your brain convinces you the world is ending. But it's just a presentation. Certainly not deadly, but your body reacts like it is. However, this kind of stress isn't your enemy. It's your body's way of saying, hey, this matters to you. The problem is we treat stress like a malfunction when it's actually a feature. Here's the cheat code. Instead of fighting stress, redirect it. That nervous energy before a presentation, channel it into preparation. That anxiety about a deadline, use it as focus fuel. Your body is literally giving you extra resources. Increased heart rate, sharper focus, heightened awareness. The difference between stress and excitement is often just your interpretation. Stop trying to eliminate stress and start learning to surf it. It's not going anywhere, so you might as well make it work for you. Building habits. You decide to work out every day, eat healthy, or read more books. Then 3 days later, you're back to your old routine wondering what went wrong. Here's the plot twist. You're trying to change too much too fast. Habits aren't built through motivation. They're built through systems and stupidly small wins. Want to read more? Don't commit to an hour a day. Commit to opening a book. Want to exercise? Don't plan hour-long workouts. Do 5 push-ups. Your brain resists big changes but barely notices tiny ones. Once you've done something small consistently for 2 weeks, your brain starts expecting it. Then you can gradually increase the difficulty. The secret sauce is making the habit so easy that skipping it feels harder than doing it. Stop trying to be a different person overnight and start being slightly better today. Reading emotions. Someone says fine and you think everything's okay, but their energy feels off and 2 minutes later you're in an argument you didn't see coming. Reading tone isn't just about words. It's about the gap between what people say and how they say it. Here's your decoder. When someone's words don't match their energy, trust the energy. Short responses, delayed replies, or overly formal language often signal frustration or distance. Pay attention to baselines. How does this person usually communicate? Sudden changes in pattern are your early warning system. The tone behind I'm fine can mean anything from actually fine to figure out what you did wrong. Context matters too. Are they stressed about work, tired, or dealing with something else? Small talk. You're stuck in an elevator at a networking event or waiting in line, and someone starts talking about the weather. Small talk feels pointless until you realize it's actually social investigation. People are testing if you're safe, interesting, or worth knowing better. The secret is treating small talk like a bridge, not a destination. Start with the obvious, but add something personal. Yeah, this rain is crazy. Reminded me of this camping trip where the goal isn't to be fascinating, it's to find common ground. Ask follow-up questions that show you're actually listening. How long have you been into hiking? Or what got you interested in that? Most people are starving for genuine attention. Stop trying to impress and start being interested. The person who asks good questions is always more memorable than the person with all the answers. Setting boundaries. Someone asks you to work late again, cover their shift, or listen to them complain for 2 hours, and you say yes, even though you're exhausted. Setting boundaries feels mean until you realize that unclear boundaries are actually crueler. They create resentment and confusion. Here's the framework. Boundaries aren't walls, they're gates with clear operating hours. The magic phrase is, I'm not available for that, but here's what I can do. Stop explaining your boundaries like you're defending them in court. You don't need a good reason to protect your time and energy. The exit strategy. You're in a conversation that's going nowhere, at an event you want to leave, or in a situation that has become uncomfortable, but you don't know how to extract yourself without being rude. Here's your exit toolkit. The time excuse. I have an early morning. The responsibility of excuse. I promised to call my mom. Or the honest approach. I'm going to head out. For conversations, try the transition. It was great talking to you about X signals closure. The Irish goodbye, just leaving without announcing it, is sometimes the kindest option for everyone. Stop feeling guilty about protecting your energy and time. Making decisions without perfect information. You're standing in the cereal aisle paralyzed by 37 options, or you can't decide which job offer to take because both have pros and cons. Decision paralysis happens because we think there's always a perfect choice waiting if we just analyze enough. Plot twist. There isn't. Here's your decision-making framework. Gather enough information to be confident, not comprehensive. Set a deadline for your decision and stick to it. Use the 10-10-10 rule. How will you feel about this choice in 10 minutes, 10 months, and 10 years? Most decisions are reversible or adjustable, so the cost of choosing wrong is usually lower than the cost of not choosing at all. Stop trying to optimize every choice and start optimizing your ability to adapt. The goal isn't making perfect decisions. It's making good enough decisions and course correcting as you go. Networking without feeling fake. You're at a professional event awkwardly trying to network, but inside you feel like a used car salesman who hates cars. Real networking isn't about collecting business cards or pitching yourself to strangers. It's about building genuine relationships that happen to be professionally useful. People can smell agenda from across the room, but they're drawn to genuine curiosity and helpfulness. Start conversations about their work, challenges, or interests, not your elevator pitch. The best networking happens when you forget you're networking. Focus on being interested rather than interesting. Follow up with value, not just nice to meet you emails. Send an article, make an introduction, or share a resource. Stop treating networking like transactions and start treating it like friendship with professional benefits. Navigating workplace politics. Your coworker takes credit for your idea. Someone gets promoted who doesn't deserve it, or there's drama in your team that somehow involves you even though you just want to do your job and go home. Workplace politics aren't optional. They're the unwritten rules of how jobs work. Here's your survival guide. Observe the real power structure. Who do people go to for approval? Who gets consulted on decisions? Build relationships before you need them, not during crises. Document important conversations and decisions via email. Stay neutral in conflicts that don't directly involve you. When sharing ideas, do it in ways that protect your contribution. I'll send a follow-up email summarizing what we discussed. Stop being naive about power dynamics and start being strategic about relationships. Learning to say no. Someone asks you to volunteer for extra work, attend another meeting, or take on a project when you're already overwhelmed, and you say yes, even though every fiber of your being wants to scream no. The inability to say no isn't kindness. It's poor boundary management that leads to resentment and burnout. Here's your no toolkit. I can't commit to that right now is complete and doesn't require justification. Offer alternatives when possible. I can't do X, but I could help with Y instead. Buy yourself time. Let me check my calendar and get back to you. The key is saying no to requests, not to people. Most people respect honest boundaries more than reluctant yeses. Practice saying no to small things so you're ready for big ones. Every yes to one thing is a no to something else, so choose your yeses strategically. Managing perfectionism. You spend 3 hours on an email that should take 10 minutes. Avoid starting projects because you can't do them perfectly, or feel anxious whenever something isn't exactly right. Perfectionism masquerades as high standards, but it's actually fear of judgment disguised as excellence. Here's the reality check. Perfectionism is procrastination wearing a fancy outfit. Good enough is actually good enough for most things. The 80-20 rule applies everywhere. 80% of results come from 20% of effort. So most things don't need your very best effort. Set good enough standards for routine tasks and save perfectionism for things that matter. Stop using perfectionism as an excuse to avoid feedback and start using iteration to improve. The goal isn't to lower your standards, but to apply them strategically. I hope these tips help you. If they did, drop a like. I appreciate it more than you think.